Quarterfinal of 2010 World Cup, Uruguay-Ghana gave us one of the most dramatic extra times in the history of World Cup. Never before African team was so close to hitting top 4 on the planet. And now, the 121st, last minute, Muslera makes mistakes at diving, but he was ensured by Suarez taking the ball off the rebound with his hand. There would be no time to equalize the score, and Suarez made the right decision. Ghana didn't score from 11 meters, and after match series, Uruguayans were more successful. Let's go one more time to the nostalgic for the past decade. For your request, this is the top 10 most significant matches of the 10th years. Games that have forever stuck in our memory and changed football. In the 10th place is the freaky game of Champions League of that 17 year. Man City Monaco 5-3. That was Guardiola's first season in Manchester. And 1/8 of Champions League was good test. Monaco was still going to goal in League One, and power of that team was by many underestimated. Future fullback and City midfielder Mendy and Bernardo Silva. Future defensive midfielder of Liverpool Fabinho. Future expensive of Atletico Lemar Moutinho. Final rekindled career of Falcao. And as a joker, and now an 18-year-old boy, Mbappe. That was very serious, and most importantly, unable strengthen European football. But City was able to pin down Quest long before final whistle and realize its advantage after 2 corners. And the young Sané has set the final score enchanting in last 20 minutes, but didn't save the British from elimination, cause in the second match, Monaco made draw on aggregate, and 3 goals conceded by townspeople at home became decisive factor. The first major disappointment in Pep's debut season in Manchester. It seems it was further aggravated Champions League complex which had coach developed after leaving from Barca. And then Pep was nervous more than once in Champions League and hasn't won again yet. Well, in that game took place your representation of Kylian Mbappe. Guy scored for the first time in Champions League, felt confident, and in total scored 6 times in playoffs. Therefore, that match is etched into memory, and it got into our top. Show highlights in full, we can't, so just hit the search engine and enjoy. And the number 9, defeat of Spaniards in 2014 World Cup 1-5. Red Fury is the first European team to win 3 major tournaments in a row. New record could be set in Brazil, where Del Bosque brought all the proven guys, even though some of them are already a little older. But all Spain was also considered one of the main favorites. However, in the first game happened that made audience open their mouths. In total, the Holland scored 5 times. These balls were not only beautiful, but also ended the era of the grandiose domination of Spain in Europe and world football. After final whistle, many thought it was just an accident, but Spaniards really caked. After that shock, they didn't leave the group and then failed several major tournaments in a row. Eighth place only match in our top from the enchanting 2019 retaliatory quarterfinal of Champions League City Tottenham. Controversial, of course, but VAR decided so. But if seriously, we just don't want to repeat admiring great comebacks of the 19th year, cause we did it all year and we couldn't take this game. It was after that we finally felt a new era of VAR had begun in football. City fans felt cheated, Spurs went further, and after that game there came clear realization that no technical means would stop disputes about refereeing in football. Well, Guardiola's team, which at that time showed best football in the world, didn't take the Champions League again, and decline in the townspeople soon began. It's still unclear whether Pep will be able to rectify the situation or just leave. Real classics of the 10th were a meeting of Real Madrid and Barcelona. These are 2 main teams in the 10th most powerful squads in club football, and 2 main footballers of the planet against each other. I remember when Match TV didn't buy rights to La Liga. At that evening, it was impossible to reserve table in Moscow's establishments when they played Clásico in Spain. There have been many coolest matches between Real Madrid and Barcelona of last decade. Well, let's remember 2. First, destruction of Mourinho at the end of the 10th year? 0-5. Special then was on top, won Champions League with Inter and came to Real Madrid to take UCL with the third club in his career, and that would make the Portuguese specialist best coach of all time. But in the first half a year in Spain, Moore was brutally humiliated by Pep. In general, ambitious Madrids were incredibly difficult to accept that defeat. Well, most dramatic classics of the 10th years is the loss of Real 3-4 game of the season when Atletico became champion, and the points given at home to Barca were just not enough for Madrid team in final table. Real then also quickly conceded but gave 5. 3 penalties in such game is fire like a final score. But removal of Ramos as good tradition of El Clasico. Sixth place for club's comebacks, and here won't be 2019 of UCL semi-final, cause we have talked too much about it lately. Jurgen had at least 2 more epic return matches in Euro Cups. It's the time to remember them. In April 13, Jurgen's Borussia, with rank of reigning champion of Germany, aimed at main European trophy. In quarter-final they played with Malaga, which was then poured in big money. And squad was full of famous names: Tolalan, Isco, Baptista, Saviola and others, coached by Pellegrini. In Spain they played 1-1, some more productive draw didn't suit the Dortmund team. Powerful ball led to 2 not most adorable goals for how beautiful scoreboard became. As a result, they reached the final, to which lost to Bayern, and the Arab owner of Malaga after that defeat changed strategy of the club's development. Almost all stars and head coach left the team, so top team from Malaga didn't come out. 3 years later, already as coach of Liverpool, Klopp wasn't averse to taking at least Europa League. Also at quarter-final stage in the return game, he hosted his ex, Borussia, and it turned out very cool. Fans both clubs then sang main football song together, "You Will Never Walk Alone." This has already made the match historical. Well, game itself rolled on a roller coaster of emotions. Klopp that year again reached the final but lost Europa League Cup. However, such crazy comebacks made him self-believe. It seems it was then in Liverpool that he decided to make long-term bet on extraordinary German specialist and extended contract with him for 6 years. Well, and soon Liverpool turned into main club in the world, but that's completely different story. In 5th place, we put most powerful match of Inter Mourinho against Pep's Barcelona in the first playoff of Champions League of past decade, 3-1. Barca made treble in the 9th. Remember, at that time, Blue Garnet seemed the best team in the history of football. Inter in return game couldn't just park the bus as they conceded it at Camp Nou, and at home got goal already in the 19th minute, and now it was already necessary to score not at least 1, but at least 3. However, Inter didn't panic and solved problem until half an hour before the end. Barca would have betrayed themselves if from the 20th minute they began to play on hold, and it was this principle of opponent that Mourinho brilliantly used. The Catalans would still play attack and showed pragmatism of their football is clearly not enough. Bas Joseph was criticized before and after, but those victories were epic. Jose showed his real special. He was immediately signed by Perez and new great era of Real Madrid began. Well, whole world realized Guardiola's space football has its drawbacks. In first place, match that shocked even housewife, Brazil-Germany, 1-7. Most title national teams suffered biggest defeat in their history at home World Cup. Brazilian people were dissatisfied with enormous spending on tournament, and only title could relieve social tension in the country. However, what happened on the field was impossible to believe. If to revise those highlights, it's children's mistakes of the owners that are striking. It looked as if the courtyard team showed up for a professional tournament. The Brazilians caused feeling of pity that evening. And this is the worst what top athletes can experience at many competition of their lives. I will tell you so. It was the most shameful defeat not only in the 10th or the 21st century. In general, it was the most important crap in the history of football. You remember any other shameful defeat that can compare this? Okay, write in the comments. But it seems there are no options at all. We opened top 3 best Champions League finals. In the 10th, contrary to stereotype that main matches of big tournaments are not bright. We saw some excellent matches, but we mentioned 2. Let's start with 2012, Bayern-Chelsea. The decrepit English club, which already had many veterans, against German super machine, which collected for 10th dominance. Bayern was already favorite, and here it was lucky to have final on the home arena. Abramovich and his wife couldn't hide tension, and so it happened. After 1-1, the game went into extra time where it seemed Munich would squeeze the Blues. And then there was also a penalty, but Robben didn't realize it. However, as if story itself was for the English, at that evening rewarding Abramovich and his old guard at last moment in combination of years of effort. Abramovich calmed down after that game and stopped spending gigantic money for transfers. And although Bayern took 1 Champions Cup in the 10th, it will forever remain with feeling that squad could achieve much more. And another great 10th final is Real's first Champions League victory in the past decade. 2014 Atletico was then in the best club, had to forge history and become great club. But Real destroyed demoralized opponent in extra time. 1 match, 1 goal that changed everything. After that victory, story of great generation of Real who overthrew Barcelona from the front. Cream players believed in their superpowers and eventually set a record for main European Cup. But Atletico never became full-fledged grandee. Although if they had taken their trophy then, perhaps everything would have been different. Only 1 match, but how many consequences? In second place is remontada, Barca PSG 6-1. This match became such a significant event in intense football that it was given a unique name from Spanish. This word can be translated as overcoming or eminence. Whoever lacks it, and also this wasn't first comeback in the history of European competition after 4-goal loss. Looks like remontada will be a major comeback in football history for a long time. But let's be honest, it was ambiguous match. Host simulation, penalty kick, in general not all fans will admit the effort of snow grenades that evening. However, no one expected what would happen in the end. VAR didn't exist then, players of Barcelona became heroes, score was on scoreboard. Especially after that match, Neymar believed in himself. How it turned out for Barca and Neymar himself and history of football, which you know yourself. In short, one of the most significant matches of decade. Being eliminated from the tournament after 4-0 became heroes of man, and now they feel trembling knee in every next match of the Champions League playoffs and are knocked out from weaker opponents. I am sure this is in any ways purchased remontada complex. And in the first place was game of last round of Premier League 11-12 Manchester City against Queen's Park Rangers 3-2. Championship intrigue was also tied to this match. United had same number of points and struggled for survival. The Rangers were eliminated in certain hands, so they were motivated to fight and monitor how their competitor play in parallel, Bolton. But main thing is, of course, that City didn't win FPL for 44 years, and infusion of shakes that began back in 2008 didn't help to interrupt this streak. Townspeople were suited with any victory, since they had noticeably better goal difference. City matches in Manchester and United at visit to Sunderland were parallel. In the first half, everything was predictable, 1-0 in favor of favorites. Here it's impossible not to give compliment to the mannequin with a scarf, Roberto Mancini, coach who in Petersburg and not only many people consider physical teacher, performed effective substitutions in the most important match of his career. United finished match earlier and was champion for a few minutes, but Dzeko, who came out, level scored at 92nd and Aguero scored winning and golden goal from the pass of Balotelli, who left the bench to the 91st. God, this is match house drunk on camera. Happy Mancini. It was really cool. Without that championship, modern history of City could have turned out differently. Without Premier League trophy, Middle Eastern investors could have doubted just as the sheikhs doubted at PSG. And if the Parisian high-budget project is teetering on the brink of expediency and can be closed at any moment, Manchester City have become real super club. For championship in Premier League, winning competition for Guardiola, who wanted by all grants, and confidence that rollbacks to their previous positions when in the middle of zero. Team under leadership of Sir Mark Hughes played with half-empty stands in City of Manchester will never happen. Well, you liked the video? We are waiting for even cooler matches in the 20s. Alex Ravlov, Ball Production. We tried our best. Bye.